Good morning, Facebook. I'm Fallon Saldo, broadcasting from the Keller Williams office of the Northampton office of Keller Williams, and I'm here today with Dan Harris of Howard Laboratories, and we are here to discuss water testing. So, Dan, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got into testing water?
Sure. So I've been working in environmental consulting for many years. I've been at the laboratory for about 5 years, and so, you know, undergraduate was environmental studies, graduate was soil science. So both of those things kind of have water as an integral part of both of those courses of study. And it's just been a part of my professional career for over a decade now.
Wow, excellent. So he's the man to talk to. Let's get into it. Why should a person have their water tested?
You know, just because you had your water tested once 5 or 10 years ago and everything was clean doesn't mean you're good to go today. Water is a dynamic, ever-changing entity, and so we tell people, you know, every other year is sort of a good benchmark. If you have a private well and you want to know what's happening with your water, also if you notice any changes in your water, you know, there's discoloration, it starts to smell funny, anything weird like that, then you know, you need to have your water tested.
Excellent. How would one go about testing their water or having their water tested? So
the first thing you do is just give us a call at Howard Labs, and we can sort of walk you through the ways that you need to address whatever it is you want to test for. You know, if it's bacterial, if it's, you know, other types of contaminants, heavy metals, that sort of thing, and we'll set you up with a specific sample bottle. You know, we'll let you know what time frame you have to do it in, and we'll get you going.
A frequently asked question is, why does a person need to use the lab sample container?
It's a good question. The reason is we provide sterile sample containers, and that's for the bacterial portion of things. You don't want to go and just grab a random water bottle and bring it to us for a bacterial test because it's guaranteed to come back positive. So you're not going to get a real result in that way. And also some of the other contaminants, you know, we have various preservatives in the bottles and things that are really important to get a valid sample. So.
And can you explain to the audience what a total coliform bacteria is?
So total coliform bacteria are a grouping or indicator grouping of bacteria. And the reason we test for them is, first of all, it's a really sensitive test. It really lets you know if something's going on that shouldn't be happening there. The second thing is it's recommended by EPA. So it's gonna have some of the fecal coliform. They're gonna let you know that, but there are some that are also not fecal in nature. So it's a real good test to let you know that something from the surface might be entering your well.
So why test for coliforms instead of disease-causing bacteria?
Yeah, again, getting back to US EPA and Mass DEP, these are really recommended procedures or methods that we use. So it's, on the one hand, it's safe for the analysts. So, you know, we're not going to grow something that's going to kill everybody in the lab, but it's also quick, and it's really reliable and sensitive. So it's a wise analysis.
So I'm in Northampton, Mass, and you're in Hatfield. What are contaminants in our area? What are other things that people should be concerned about?
So something that's fairly common is radon. You know, we recommend people test their wells for radon, especially if you do a radon in air test and it comes back with a high concentration.
Mm-hmm.
You should go right back and do your drinking water. Some of wells in our area, especially east of the Connecticut River, are contaminated with arsenic, for example. If you live in an industrial area, if your well happens to be in a place where maybe there was a landfill or an old auto body supply or something like that, you know, you could have VOCs in your well, you could have other heavy metals. So you know, you need to be kind of site specific and thinking about what you're wanting to test for, and you know, so that's what we recommend.
Yes, and you know, I was told at a recent inspection that it's sometimes better to test for radon in the water first. Have you heard?
You certainly could. I mean, it's sort of 6 of one and half a dozen of the other.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Very good. That's how does bacteria get into water in general?
So in terms of total coliform bacteria, that could be a simple contamination from the surface. You know, if you've had some plumbing work, or maybe a well company has come in and done some work, those guys know, if they're professionals, that they have to decontaminate anything that they're putting in the well. But you know, sometimes things slip through and you can get coliform. Other ways is that if there's some problem with the well construction itself, you know, maybe the cap's not seated properly, it's not tightened down, or maybe there's something wrong with the actual well casing, the steel portion of the well. You know, maybe there's a crack in it, maybe it's not seated in the bedrock properly, and then water from the surface can be getting into there.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah.
because I know fixing that would not be a fun, would not be a fun process. What if somebody chlorinated? Okay, excuse me. If somebody comes back with a test that's positive for chloroform bacteria, what do you recommend? How do you recommend? Yeah. What do you recommend to people?
So we recommend you contact a professional who deals in water systems. So, you know, a well driller, a plumber, or another consultant who can sort of go in and chlorinate the well. So they'll do something called shock chlorination, and that'll normally knock out any bacterial contamination.
Dad, do you hear that? You're not supposed to be doing it yourself. So
yeah, please don't.
Let's move on. What if I chlorinated, what if a person chlorinates their well and they still keep getting a positive test back?
So if that's the case, then that might be time to start looking at the well itself and just see where this problem is sourcing from.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's just a continual issue.
Yeah, if it's a continual issue, yeah. Have a professional come in and take a look.
Can you break down for me, what is the difference, why is water called hard or soft?
So hard water basically means it has a high concentration of dissolved positively charged ions or cations. So that just means usually in our area, especially calcium, magnesium. So you know you're getting that white staining on your teapot, you know, or your coffee pot, or you know you're noticing its soap isn't sudsing up very much. That means you've got really hard water, and that basically means it's saturated with dissolved ions. Soft water is the total opposite. Sometimes we call that aggressive or hungry water.
So. Very good. Now, if a person finds they have contaminants in their water, they get the test back, what can they do further to rectify these problems?
So again, you can contact a professional to help you. I actually have a venture myself. This is sort of grown out of the lab. I'm Headwaters Consulting, LLC, and I come in and help people with their problem wells. So if you get a positive coliform test or you have a heavy metals hit, I can come in and help you with any type of treatment that you might need on your well. And so, yeah.
And how could people reach you for that?
So you can send me an email, and that's Dan@Headwaters Consulting LLC, all one word, .com, and I'll get back to you
as quickly as you can. Yeah. And if you're anybody looking to buy or sell, you can contact me, Fallon Saldo. I'm in the Northampton office of Keller Williams, 413-923-4024. It was great speaking with you.
Great speaking with you.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. Everybody, have a great day.